This is Steve Bartle with Outbound Excellence, and today we are with Robert Barnett, founder and CEO of ITX. Welcome, Robert.
Hi, how are you doing?
Great. Hey, Robert, tell us a little bit about your background and ITX.
Well, first of all, I've been in the information processing business for about 50 years now. We started out as a development site for IBM in the shared hospital business, and then we got into insurance and banking, and with two successful startups. And it's those experiences that we had installing and integrating all this data that's on disparate hardware and operating systems and adding document imaging is what's really led us up to the creation of ITX and the development of the products we have now.
Great. What type of products and services does ITX actually specialize in?
Well, as I said, we're basically in the information integration and sharing business. We've got all this data on different computers, and we got all these documents and files and photos, and people want to have access to those. So the problem of pulling it all together, securing it, and making it available easily to end users is the challenge that we've been going after, and we think we've got a pretty good solution for that.
Well, that's very interesting. Now, Robert, I hear you're currently announcing a new product suite called infoENGAGE. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, infoENGAGE is basically a rebranding of the product and service that we've been providing in the law enforcement for the last 19 years. But with the recent integration of cloud and mobile computing technologies, we've decided we've got a pretty good product suite that should go out to all industries now. And so we thought we'd better rebrand that with a name that might be more meaningful, infoENGAGE. Engaging all the users with whatever information they want, wherever it is, on a secured basis, wherever they are at any time with any device.
Well, that sounds awesome. Now, Robert, why is cloud and mobile-based technology important for the access and retrieval of information? I mean, what are the advantages, and can you give me some examples?
Well, the big reason for cloud and mobile is that it provides the perfect environment and has all the capabilities within that environment to be able to provide secured access to this information. We've got redundant power, we've got redundant high-speed network capabilities, all the things that you can't really install within your own facility on a cost-effective basis. Yet they're all required to provide a proper solution to the end user. I think the best example would be is how we apply these services within our law enforcement client base. First of all, if our law enforcement clients want to share information with other agencies and partners on a secured basis, we basically install another computer inside their facility that can provide browser access on a shared basis to the secured information they want to share with their partners. And they can't open up the public to that, yet when they ask us to send out accident reports or pay citations for the public, we couldn't do that within the in-house cloud because of the security requirements. So to address that, we take the information that they want to open up to the public, put that up to an open cloud environment so the users can have easy access to that and not interfere with their internal secured network of sharing information.
Tell us a little bit more about the SI-3000 suite for law enforcement. I mean, what actually inspired you to create this suite of software?
Well, basically, I was out on the golf course with a gentleman that had mugshot live video capture software that he was using to, in the early stages of law enforcement, to take mugshots, do lineups, etc. But he couldn't get those things installed because in order to make those efficient, they had to get interacted with all the data that was associated with that person. So they had to understand his age, weight, sex, eye color, hair color, and none of that information was available unless they did what they call an API, Application Program Interface. So that means the vendor that had the access to that data had to do very complex and costly software development to integrate their mugshot system. Well, with the tools we have, we can interactively attach to any database, get at any of the data interactively, and integrate that with all the images, documents, and everything else that's associated with that. So basically, we generated a very cost-effective solution to allow this person to get his mugshot and lineup system out without costly development. Once we had the mugshot and the lineups and those images installed and integrated with the application data without having to write any software, our clients were after, now how do I get the rest of my documents in there? How do I get additional photos? How do I scan documents? How do I import crime scenes? How do I get all this information managed? And with our technology, by being integrated with the databases interactively, we provide a very efficient and cost-effective way to manage all of that information and retrieve it on a secured basis.
Nice. Now, Robert, what are the major industries and markets leveraging the SI-3000 suite?
Well, basically the SI-3000 suite, we focused on the law enforcement and security side of the industries. With our new infoENGAGE branding, we are going to open up all of these capabilities to any industry, any application within those industries, because we can easily provide these same capabilities, access data, integrate documents, images, and provide a very cost-effective cloud and mobile device support and access to that information.
Can you go into a little bit more detail about the law enforcement application and the modules? Can you give us some specific examples of how law enforcement is using the SI-3000 suite and the value they're receiving over those agencies not using mobile cloud-based information storage and retrieval systems?
Well, as I stated above, we got into the law enforcement based on integrating live video, mugshot, and lineup capabilities. And then with the expansion into document imaging and file management capability and being attached to all of their various application databases, we evolved our clients into mobile and distributed access to all of their information in all of their different applications. And also, when we came up with requirements from our clients where they didn't have the data within their application databases, we have the capability that we can define and create those very easily. So with that capability, we came up with a lot of standalone applications like sex offender, gun permit, gang and graffiti, personnel databases, whatever the client needed to be able to efficiently capture and manage all the information, data, documents, images, pictures, photos, whatever they might be that they wanted to have a secured access to.
What is the ideal customer profile of organizations outside the public sector that would receive maximum value from the SI-3000 application?
Well, basically, it's any client in any industry on any application where they can improve their business processes by being able to provide secured access to their end users, whether those be personnel within the company, salespeople, field people, could be clients, could be vendors, but if they could provide access to the right information at the right time, they can really improve their business processes. And I think this applies to pretty much any application in any industry.
How does the SI-3000 offering differ from other cloud-based storage and retrieval systems such as Dropbox or Google Drive?
Well, I think the big difference is the fact that in our document imaging and file management, we feel that we must be interactively attached to all the data behind those documents, whether they be incidents or people in jail. They aren't just individual documents laying out there that you've got to figure out how you want to search on them, everything else. We're associating all this content with the data behind it. This allows us to search on hundreds of thousands of records on selection criteria that brings out the ones you're interested in. I got employees that are coming up for review next week, so I got to search for my department what employees are coming up for review. And once they're there, bang, I got every document, every historical pay raise, any kind of grievance report. All of that information is available to me right there. And to do that on a Dropbox, those are all just individual documents out there someplace, and you lose a lot by not being able to search on the data behind them. And in many cases, we're attached to hundreds of thousands of records for each application we're associated with, and we might be storing millions of documents. Dropbox is just not built for that kind of imaging capability.
Now, Robert, could you give me a few examples of how a typical service business that offers a service in America could increase their operational efficiency and effectiveness using the SI-3000 suite?
Well, really, I think the capabilities that we provide would apply to any company in the service business. If you're in a business of installing solar panels, when you go out, you need to take pictures of the property that you want to do. You want to take pictures all the way through the installation. You might want to call back in and get some guidance. Do I have parts available for tomorrow? All of that information, plus being able to capture information and take pictures out on the site, is going to improve your business process. The way I look at it, whether there's a salesperson out there, a field service person, they're all going to need to and want to have access to data, documents, images, pictures, sales, product manuals, service manuals, whatever information they need at that time to help improve the process. And they don't have to call back to the home office, get a secretary to look up the product description for this, or the cost of that, or what I did last week when I repaired it. All of that information will now be available. And I think that's going to be a good advantage for anybody in the service business.
So a complete repair history would be available to the people out in the field too as well.
Attached to that database, all that information would be available, plus the sales ticket, what they did to repair it, who got charged, how much they got charged. Any information that a client thinks important, we can attach to and make it available anytime, any place, any day.
If our viewers are interested in contacting you with further questions, or if they're interested in infoENGAGE's products and services, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Well, you can call us directly at our sales support number, which is 319-378-4387, or send us an email at sales@SI-3000.com, or just visit our websites, www.si-3000.com, or our new website, infoENGAGE, which is www.infoengage.com.
That's all the time we have today, so I want to thank you, Robert, for your time and your tips. This is Steve Bartle with Outbound Excellence, and thank you all and have a great day.